Haha. Now, before I start this one, I'm a little aware of Ron Mars's behavior from the time Trump was president, and I'm not completely aware of his woke behavior on Twitter, now X, but he hadn't posted in a while. He's going to do something, some sort of signing event, some convention in 2025. Good on him, but I don't care about his recent exploits. I'm talking about Ron Mars in 1994, and he was notable for like Silver Surfer, other stories, but this was the story. This is Green Lantern number 50. This was made. Now let me get that right because I have to check these things. This was made in March of 94. So this is almost 31 years old. This story is almost 31 years old. So here is Hal Jordan, or the first appearance of Parallax. Now, in light of the sort of the rebirth in 2006 and the Sinestro Corps, where I don't know if it's Jeff Johns' idea that Parallax is this ugly giant insect that possesses people. It's sort of like, oh no, your father wasn't a terrible person. The alcohol made him a terrible person. No, no, Daddy was a terrible person because he was always a shitty person. The alcohol just brought it out. Okay. Now, I'm going to walk you through this comic book, okay? Because I had just read it recently and I hadn't really read it in a while. But I wasn't a big Green Lantern collector. Now, I'll give you a little bit of context while I just kind of stand this up a little bit. See if I can stand it up properly. We don't have perfect things. We have to make perfect things happen here. Let's see if that will work. Hey! Somehow it stands. Somehow the Emperor has returned. Um, Hal Jordan at this time had great temples. Now, this could have to do with the Silver Age of comics, where you had Barry Allen. There were people that were dead and had not returned yet. Now, as far as legend, and when I say legend, like on a bus map, you see the legend of where things are supposed to be permanently. There are many people who are supposed to stay dead. Jor-El, Lara, no, yeah, Jor-El and Lara, right? And Thomas and Martha Wayne. And that's basically it. But it used to be that Barry Allen stayed dead because of the Crisis on Infinite Earths and other people. And eventually, Hal Jordan died in 1997. And I do have his death somewhere, the final night, number 4, when he was Parallax fighting against the Sun Eaters or whatever it was. I don't know what it was. But anyway, so I guess the logic was that Hal Jordan was a young man in Emerald Dawn, but see, Emerald Dawn came out in 1987 or 1988, somewhere there, or 89, somewhere in late 80s, right? And yet, when we look at the Green Lantern series that ran, I'm thinking from 1990, right? So the Green Lantern series started after the events of Emerald Dawn. So, yet Hal Jordan's much older. So I guess we're led to believe that the Hal Jordan from the 1960s is the same one, but it's a different continuity with different aspects and circumstances, I guess. A bit confusing. Most people honor the Emerald Dawn as the definitive Hal Jordan story. I kind of like the Earth One story more, but that's a completely different animal, right? And by the way, it breaks my heart to see that Gabriel Hardman and Corina Becco have fucked off to Blue Sky. Blue Sky is not a haven. It's not. It's not a utopia. Sorry. I would love to see you guys. I would love to see you all come back. Really. Anyway, that broke my heart because it was a really Earth One books 1 and 2 are very, very good. But going back to this, now this was done with Ron Mars and Darryl Banks, and I think Romeo does the inks or color separations. I don't know. This is a special glow in the dark cover. I'll show you the glow in the dark feature when we get to the end of this. Oh my God. You'll be amazed. These were the days when you had gimmicky comics, okay? Holofoils, holograms, lenticular covers, translucent covers. You had the newsstand edition and you had the gimmick edition, okay? But here we are with number 50. So I'm going to kind of walk you through this, if I can walk you through this. So let me give the context for this, okay? Hal Jordan came back home. Now, if you remember the Death and Return of Superman, Cyborg Superman, who was Hank Henshaw, destroyed all of Coast City. All the city was destroyed, okay? So he had a spaceship, okay? And the spaceship landed, right? You had Mongol, the original Mongol, not his son, okay? And they destroyed Coast City. So almost everybody died. Carol survived, I think. Carol survived because she was on her way back to Coast City. But all of her friends are gone and killed. So I'm not sure what happened to Carol. But somewhere in issues 48 and 49, Hal Jordan decided, you know what? I'm going to take everybody's rings. I'm going to become the most powerful Green Lantern. So that's what I kind of remembered because all I collected was issued. I have number 46, but I don't have 47, 48, 49. I think 47 was Hal Jordan and Oliver Queen, Green Arrow, Green Lantern crossover. And then we got to these other ones. So let's see. So he has the ring. So the whole gimmick of a Green Lantern holding all the rings, that started in this one. Actually, it started in the issue before it, but where you would see him going crazy with the rings. That was number 49. And here you got Sinestro. And Sinestro, there's no Yellow Lantern Corps yet. There's no movie. There's no movie yet, okay? We see, in fact, this was even before the Justice League pilot for CBS. And CBS didn't take kindly to comic book movies, but I did watch that pilot. CBS, for once, made the right decision. But I still like the Flash series with John Wesley Shipp. So there we got Hal Jordan, and he's telling him, hey, you know what? Get rid of your rings. Let's see if we can fight one-on-one to the death without any cheats. So here you got them fighting. Let's go. Okay. So they got one ring. Okay. So Hal Jordan gets rid of his cheats. So he has one ring to Sinestro's one ring. And what happens here? This is kind of like I think Daryl was taking a note from the Cage. Now, 30 years before this comic book was the Star Trek pilot The Cage, in which the Telosians were looking at Christopher Pike and the Enterprise crew, Spock and everyone. The Doctor. So this is kind of like The Cage from Star Trek, okay? So here they're fighting. They fight. Okay? And so, Sinestro's talking shit about the Guardians. Look how yellowed my pages are. They're watching everything. It's like, here he tells a story, and he says, I don't believe Hal Jordan could do what he's supposed to do, and he was right. So here they're having one last clash. This was back then, how gimmicky comic books were. They just went for everything, okay? Okay, they're like watching everything. Here's this doesn't faze them. They're not phased yet. One is concerned. The other two are like, yeah, we expect this to happen, right? And here they're punching each other, okay? And they get into a headlock. He gets them to almost in a headlock. Not yet. First, a few more punches and shit, okay? Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so you're not going down yet. Oh, no, he's going to make him suffer first, okay? So he says, because we have not finished. I said, oh, we're finished. Both of us are finished. I was like, I won. Look at yourself and answer me. What does he say? Did you, Jordan? Look at yourself and answer me. Did you do this to yourself, right? So he's got him in a headlock, and remember he arrested him in 2006 Rebirth, okay? That was 2006. Oh, you're under arrest, Sinestro. Nope. Snaps his neck, and that's it, okay? Because Ron wasn't playing games. He's like, no, fuck Sinestro. Sinestro's dead. Now, my previous knowledge I was 16 years old. My previous knowledge of Sinestro was the Super Friends cartoon, and that was about it. I didn't really pay attention to this guy. And I didn't even really know that he was Hal Jordan's greatest enemy. Uh, but here I did. It's like, oh shit! Like it occurred to me, he just killed his greatest enemy, and so they're concerned. Now he's going to go to the big green, the giant power battery on Oa. This is Oa, right? Oa's kind of primitive looking now at this point compared to like you see a little bit of the city, right? But if you look at the Green Lantern animated series, it looks like Coruscant with the power battery. But who stops him, right? He's about to go into the power battery. Now, this is the first time I ever saw Kilowog. I never read Emerald Dawn. I never read the series, so I was completely unfamiliar with this. But I went for these were the days when issue number 50 or issue number 100 was like the thing to collect, right? So I was just collecting comic books mindlessly. And here I see Kilowog for the first time. You gotta do it, Jordan. You gotta do it. Was it like John Goodman is Kilowog, right? There's a joke to this. You have to read the comic books to understand what I'm talking about. So they're fighting each other. So he took all the rings. Okay, he's like, I know what you're thinking, pal, or Hal. You're looking to get into the Central Valley battery again, so she can have all the power for yourself. But what then? What happens to the core members out in space, or maybe in a scrap somewhere? So he's taken. He's. I didn't kill the core. I just took their rings. He left them on a planet somewhere, I guess. But here it's like you can still stop. Nope. Boom, and that's it. And he just so he kills Kilowog. Now, if you ever watch the animated series from Bruce Timm, that 3D cartoon, that's his good friend, right? And you see how much of a good friend he is in Earth One, and you see what a friend he might be. I don't remember much of the relationship in the movie with Ryan Reynolds, but he just fried the shit out of Ron Mars. Is not pulling any fucking punches. He takes off his own ring. Okay, so he takes off all his rings, and he says, "I don't deserve this anymore." And he says, "True, Sector 2814, you do not. So you have committed heinous acts, caused irreparable damage. You will be punished by you. You haven't done anything that you haven't taken a personal interest in anything for so long. You've forgotten how." Okay, so I'll read these last parts. Okay. I just wanted to have my life again. You could have given me the power to make everything right, but you self-righteous gnomes couldn't even do that much. All you were capable of was turning your back on me. To tamper with what has been is the most grievous crime of all. So, at this point, he's lost his city. Coast City was his home. And maybe Carol's dead. I don't know. Something happened to Carol. In the Silver Age, Carol was crippled. She was put in a wheelchair. That was Denny O'Neil. But here, I don't know what happened to her because I didn't read those previous issues. So it's too late for me now. Too late for you. There's no turning back. Not what's going to happen. It's what's going to happen is going to happen. You can't stop it, and neither can I. And it's like, oh God. So they feel that their time is coming to an end. It's kind of like the Manhunters, but this instead of a bunch of robots, it's one man who's going to destroy that power battery. So Ganthet's the only one to carry on the legacy. Everybody fucking dies. This is before Order 66. This is before, and even Ron Mars compared this to the Jedi, to Star Wars, or was it somebody else? But anyway, this is before Revenge of the Sith. This was 11 years before Revenge of the Sith. Okay, if you read this issue. And you told people, you know what, Revenge of the Sith is going to be just like this. And it was like, what? What are you talking about? Give yourself 10 hamburgers at McDonald's, 10 Big Macs, okay? Because you were fucking right. There you go. So he smashes the ring, right? But there's a new hope. Not Luke Skywalker, no. But Ganthet says here, our greatest champion, yet we did not stand by him in his need. Our unwavering adherence to our edicts prevented the slightest compassion. When were we then the architects of our own destruction, my brothers? Even this is abandoned. The symbol of all our champion was that we were. All that we were is gone. It must become a symbol once again. So as the sole remaining guardian, I promise our ultimate sacrifice will not be an act of futility. All we have stood for, the nobility, the good will live on, even if I too must perish. So he's the last person. He's like the last of the Jedi will you be, right? So there's Kyle Rayner. This is the first appearance of Kyle Rayner. I think. Maybe. Maybe it is. I know it's the first appearance of Parallax, but Kyle Rayner shows up. Ion, right? I think he might have appeared before in the other two issues, but because this is a 3-issue series. So here he is here, and my life just got a lot more complicated. So he gets the ring in brightest. Here we have in brightest day, right? This is art. This is art. Oh my god, I forgot who did this one. I don't know who that is. In blackest night, that's Emoman. Is it? Looks like it. No evil can escape my sight. Okay. This is some cool shit. This is old Green Lantern. This is old Hal Jordan. And he showed up later on in the Kyle issues. Let those who worship evil's might. There's a yellow monster there. Ring doesn't work. I love the girls. I love all the pinup girls that you see here. Fantastic. That's a Karugar, I think. Look at that, more pinup girls. Beware my power. Yep. And Green Lantern's light. And Hamilton. Yeah. Batteries not included. That's the letters column. Do they still make letters columns anymore? No, I don't know. But there you go. That is the issue of Green Lantern number 50. Emerald Twilight number 3. The first time you see Kyle Rayner in the costume, I think Kyle Rayner appeared before. I think so. And Ron Marz was responsible for the whole refrigerator thing with Kyle Rayner's girlfriend, Alex. He has that. So what is it? What's her that big fat bitch? What's her name? Gail Simone. That's right. Gail Simone criticized the whole thing about stuffing women in a refrigerator. I don't know. I think for me, when I wrote my characters, the girlfriend was always shot and killed. Okay, because for me, true love did not exist. Like it did not exist. So if the character was similar to me in fiction, and he has a girlfriend, guess what happens to the girlfriend? The girlfriend goes because he is now entering a universe where, not literally, but in the fictional world, he's entering into a mind state of, I must find people who are lost and broken like me, and we must do stuff together. Okay? So that was my mindset for my fiction. But that's it. And I hope you enjoyed this. This was a very, let's see, any stuff in the back? Yeah, T2 arcade game for the Super Nintendo, and you can get it for the Genesis and Game Gear. That was, and you can use it on you could use the Super Scope 6 and the mouse and just the controller. You don't even need the Super Scope 6. I don't know if I would try the Super Scope 6, but it's worth a try. And the best part is, here we got a sort of a glow-in-the-dark gimmicky cover, and these are the days you could do that kind of shit. So, I don't know if this has been reprinted, but obviously the 2006 Rebirth has since denounced this. This is no longer canon, I think. Hal Jordan was always great. Well, he is great, but it's like he fell. And he kind of turned to an evil piece of shit throughout. He with the Cyborg and Zero Hour, and then Final Night was when he died. He died in Final Night. There was a whole funeral. So I have that issue where he gets killed. What is it? One of the superheroes says, it took everything Hal did to save us from the Final Night, everything. So there you go. So that's it. Let's take a look at let's look at the glow-in-the-dark cover. There it is. That's it. Have a safe Tuesday, everyone. Almost hump day.